Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the rules of engagement. Before we talk about a Terran build, let me tell you a little bit about this cool educational opportunity for you guys. Fullsail.edu. You checked out some of the work they do on that previous little promo vid right there. They're a really cool program. Learn more about it and go to fullsail.www, gotta put in those, .fullsail.edu/MLG. Get more information about a lot of their cool programs. These include game design, 3D animation, audio engineering, video production, all these cool things that are all instruments and part of what goes into making a great game like Starcraft 2, like League of Legends, Call of Duty. All these games take a lot of people working on them. It's a great career opportunity for you to get involved in the video game scene, I could say, in the production angle of that. Not to mention that even working for esports companies like MLG, we need a lot of these people here. All of our graphics are made by Full Sail graduate. We've got 2 interns from Full Sail, audio engineer and a 3D animation guy. So there's a lot of opportunities for you if you pursue this as a potential education source. It's painless, right? You go to that website, so just give you a little more information about their various programs, and you can check them out and see if it's the right fit for you. So let's get into the game now. It's going to be about a Terran introductory build, and this one's going to be the 1 Barracks Expand. I'm sure you've seen this a lot when you watch programs. It is the go-to Terran build, and I'm telling you, when you're opening up this game, no matter how you like to play Terran, this is probably your best go-to build to do versus every race, regardless of what's going on in the game, because it's got a lot of strengths. I'll talk about them in a bit. It's got a lot of different potential follow-ups, and then I'll tell you like the most general follow-up that you know you can just kind of go in and see if that's the right one for you, or you can branch out from there. So, getting into this game, the 1 Barracks Expand, it's pretty simple, right? You keep building probes constantly, then you build a barracks, then you build an expansion. That's it. Don't put out too many other buildings in there. Only supply depots and SCVs. Keep those going. Get your barracks. As soon as that barracks is done, we'll fast forward this a little bit. As soon as that barracks is done, you want to get an orbital command. And then some people get the command center before the second depot. It's up to you. We're just going to the second depot first, keep things going smoothly, and it's also a good habit to get into. Just always make sure you have extra supply. So get that second depot, then you go ahead and build that command center on the low ground. You can build it in your main too, but just be greedier, but on low ground. Greed is good. Extreme greed is extremely good. That's generally the motto of Starcraft 2. After you build that command center over here, then you go ahead and build yourself 2 gases. And there's some other potential follow-ups to this. So if you watch pros, you're gonna see that they follow up with some different things, right? They'll follow up with the 1 Barracks Expand or several additional barracks or fast banshees. All these follow-ups you can do because you've got a great economy and you're very safe, right? The reason you're very safe is because you've got this wall up here and you got Marines behind it, right? What can beat that? You've got depots and Marines to counter everything, at least early on in the game. So don't have to worry about Zerglings coming up here, Zealots. Stalkers have to get vision, so they'll get stuck on the ramp. Your Marines can gun them down. Mothership Cord and Marines can gun down too. You're very, very safe in the early game. Worst case, you have to lift this command center. That's the worst case. You have to lift it up, not a big deal. So it gives you so much money and it's so safe that you can spend your money in so many different ways. So when you watch pro games, you'll often see them followed up with maybe instead of getting the 2 gases here, instead of getting these 2 gases, they'll go ahead and get a bunch more barracks and then put on some pressure. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend that for you guys because it's a little bit tricky to play pressure builds sometimes because you've got to know when to back off, when to commit. You've got to have your micro spot on. You have to know what times in the game are good to move out, what amount of units versus what strategy they're doing. There's a lot of complications to it, and you're going to end up having weird games that you won't learn quite as much from if you do those aggressive builds, unless you want to just focus on mastering the timing of an aggression build. If you just want to explore the game and have fun, let's put that aside for now. The other thing you'll see them following up sometimes is fast banshees. But again, that's another unit where you got to control it well, and it adds all these complications to the game. When you're just trying to explore your new Heart of the Swarm, you want to try to avoid complications. So I'd avoid the fast banshee as well. The follow-up I'd like you to do, go ahead and get these double gases, and then keep those cranking out. Keep SCVs going the whole time. Just keep SCV, Marine production, boom, boom, boom. Keep that macro rolling. Get depots every time you need them, and as soon as you have the gas, go ahead and get yourself a factory. And then after that factory, keep Marines, SCVs cranking along. And then as soon as you have 400 minerals, you're going to build a 3rd command center, right? And what this does is you're basically going to build tanks so you're safe from attack. And in Heart of the Swarm, they start with siege mode. So you can get those siege tanks out very, very fast in siege mode. And what you're doing is you're combining siege tanks, which aren't that hard to use. You just place them on a good spot where your opponent can't get to them. So you place them on your high ground here. And then you also get a 3rd CC. So what you're doing is you're going to combine an exceptional economy via the fast 3rd CC, which means 3 mules early, triple SCV production, all these great things. You're going to combine that with extreme safety because your defense is secure. But you have the siege tank on the high ground. Worst case again, you have to lift up the orbital, wait to have a few more tanks before you can take it back. Not a big deal, right? So you're safe and you've got a lot of money. And then what I'd like you to do is, well, you can continue in different directions. You can build more factories and get the gases here. You can build more barracks. I'm just going to show you how to follow it with bioplay. If you're going to follow this up with bioplay, you want to build 2 E-bays very early because bio units need those upgrades, right? Follow up with 2 E-bays, and then, of course, you get more barracks, add in reactors to them. Even if you're going bioplay, get a couple tanks just to make sure you're safe. You don't have to worry about people killing you because you want to have an opportunity to build a bunch of units. And then you can see you got to prioritize these upgrades, and then just keep macroing out SCVs, Marines. Marines, not Marauders early. Marines are better than Marauders until late game. So keep focusing on Marines until you have a surplus of gas, and then you can switch over to Marauders. Get yourself that Stargate, and you can use the factory to build a reactor, which you can switch to Stargate too, so you can reactor out medevacs very efficiently. And basically keep adding in depots, barracks, and units as needed. Keep up your constant unit train going. Remember also, just like with Protoss, when your upgrades are about 2/3 done, you go ahead and get the Twilight Council. With Terran, when they're 2/3 done, you go ahead and get that Armory. Because you got to have the Armory to get those 2/2 upgrades. And if you're playing a macro-focused build with 3 CCs, you really, really, really want to prioritize those upgrades. So as you go up from here, you just keep macroing. And if you do this well, you should be at max by 14 minutes roughly. I mean, barring engagements. And this is even taking the 30 at a conservative time, not trying to rush it out too early. So you could even max out faster than that. But the general idea is you're making yourself very safe early with the siege tanks, and then you're using that safety. Right? There's no point making yourself safe unless you're investing into the late game. So if you make yourself safe but you're not threatening them, you've got to match your late game investments, or actually surpass them, ideally. So that's why I take the fast 3rd CC, that's why I take the fast double E-base. Because those are all going to help you tremendously in the late game. And then, of course, as you get money, keep adding more barracks so you can keep up your production. Keep building depots as needed, keep getting upgrades, etc. And as you go through, you can see, look how fast your food's going to climb between the 11-minute mark and like the 13, 14-minute mark as your production really kicks into gear and your economy starts to pay off big time. You can see there, at 11 minutes I was at 100 food. Now it's 13 minutes, I'm already at 170, right? So you can really, really get a lot of units really quickly as long as you follow a couple basic ideas with Terran. You can get a secure defense with just a couple siege tanks, and then that defense allows you to focus exceptionally on economy, more so than other races, right? Zergs have to spread out to match their economy because they don't have mules, so they have to expose themselves to attacks on different bases. Protoss have to do the same thing, and they have to build extra nexuses outside of the first 2 bases to enhance their economy past the 2 base. As a Terran player, go ahead and get that very fast 3rd CC in your main, use it for the mules, the SV production, and then you can move it out as soon as you're comfortable. You can get a superior 2-base economy with the mules, and then your 3rd base is actually up very fast because you don't have to start building it, just got to move it over. So really, really focus on that economy. You can tech however you want. I showed you how effective it is to macro out bio with those upgrades, but you can go ahead and right after you start the 3rd CC, go ahead and take your 3rd and 4th gas, throw down 2 more factories and crank out Hellions, Widow Mines, Siege Tanks, Stores, whatever you want. It's all fine. It's all good. It's Starcraft, have fun, but make sure you're starting with a build that puts you in a good position going forward, regardless of what units you make. So get a lot of those CCs, get a lot of SCVs, get a couple tanks for defense, and you're all set. Wraps it up for this segment on a Terran build. Let's take a quick break and be right back with some Q&A.